Production.
What is poppin'? Here we are. It's May 11th. Beautiful Mother's Day. Big week ahead in the markets. We're looking at Solana here. Right now, it's an interesting stock. It's clearly in some sort of equilibrium type of trend. We're unable to really hold higher highs, and we're just trading sideways for the most part. You can see that here, right? It's been a struggle with Solana in this range, right? Solana can't really stick above 250, struggling with the 170s. This is the zone, and it's been this way since 2021 as well. If Solana could break this entire zone and eat up all the supply in this area, this name could go significantly higher. Look how fast this happened, right? The stock went from 22, or the altcoin went from 22 to 190 in, call it, what's that there? September 2023 to March 2024, right? So 10 months, something like that. Like, that's a pretty significant move, right? So what we want to see here is, we know the potential is there for Solana to do something like that to the upside. This is in the way though, right? So as long as we can stay in this zone, the longer we stay, the more shares get eaten up at this range. This becomes a new base, and then we'll get the breakout above. That's all I could really see here for Solana. It's this massive box. I'll delete it and make it a little bit more pretty here. But this is all I see right now. We need to see Solana, stay closer to the top of that box. We can see something like this, right? So the box is from 116 to 253. If we could stay in between here from the 175 to 250 range and actually stick around and play, that looks a lot more like something really juicy could develop. So again, like, the crypto environment right now is extremely bullish. We that's beneficial for Solana, but at the same time, there's supply demand metrics that get in the way as well. So we need to see a lot more of these, good bullish headlines. We're starting to see a lot more companies, like you see Galaxy, the number one validator on the Solana network, starting to see these DeFis who have been, creating products that are easily digestible and easily accessible, ETPs wrapped up that are Solana ETPs. They're doing a lot of other cryptocurrencies as well, wrapped up in ETPs. You'll see Soul Strategies, I believe they're called. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a company that's being traded on the OTC and the I believe it's the NEO or the CSE in Canada, that basically they're trying to be the strategy of MSTR. So you see a bunch of names like this. You're starting to see that Solana is on the U.S. digital asset stockpile, right? So this is something that they're talking about. It's a big name in the industry. I wouldn't sleep on it. Solana is definitely, it deserves its spot in the top 10. I believe it's a top 5. Anyways, I don't want to ramble on here, but for the most part, this is what we're looking at. It might be a lot faster than this, but I do think something like that occurs, where right now we're at 175, we rally up towards this 250 range, and then we coil up tightly before we get a breakout, right? That's the bullish scenario here for Solana. Where that breakout can take us, that all depends on the macro environment, right? If we're seeing BTC that's 150 plus, we're starting to see the rates drop in the US. You're starting to see a bunch of bullish headlines around jobs, what do you call it, GDP, and all these things. They start printing money. All these catalysts, if there's much more too, like what, a bunch of ceasefires across the world, the trade deals with China and the rest of the world start to go positive. No more tariff talk. All these things will add up into one super risk on environment. And I think that's an environment that Solana thrives in, with a lot of other equities. So Solana has been known to make some crazy moves in the past. I'd expect something in the similar if we can break down this, 130 to 250 area, right? So if we look at the volume profile here, it's very clear. There is not much resistance above this area. As long as we can hold sideways in this range and weaken this zone, I think there's blue skies for Solana coming in 2025. Unless a bunch of things change in the near future, that's my kind of thoughts on Solana here. Cheers, guys.